Hello and welcome back to Bookish. It's Shaketube. This is the third week, and this week I read Henry V. I don't think Steve Donahue has put out his Henry V video yet, but that's okay. I'm going to probably violate some Shaketube etiquette and make and submit my video a little ahead of his perhaps. But I just couldn't wait because Henry V is my favorite Shakespeare play. This probably is because I saw the Kenneth Branagh movie version of Henry V a long time ago, and really just kind of got caught up in what you get caught up in Henry V with Henry V, and that is all the magnificent speeches that Henry makes to his men. Henry V is a great play for speeches, and I think has to be one of the most purely masculine of all of Shakespeare's plays. There's only a romantic interest really at the very end, and to be honest with you, it feels a bit tacked on. Oftentimes feels just a little bit like, Henry or Shakespeare felt like he had to add a female character to the play and some kind of romantic interest. But Henry V tells the story of English King Henry V, who ascended to the throne after his father Henry IV died. Henry V is determined to win back English possessions in France. He gets more or less permission from church leaders that guarantee him that his claim to the throne of France is as great or as strong as the French king's claim to the throne of France, and thus Henry V embarks on a war of conquest in France, historically laying siege to and sacking the city of Harfleur, and then fighting what is one of the most epic battles in English military history, the Battle of Agincourt, where an outnumbered Henry is able to defeat the French army largely because of the excellence of the English longbowmen, overcomes kind of overwhelming odds to win. And this is, what makes Henry V heroic. And certainly, I'll say again, there are a lot of speeches in Henry V that are really appealing. But I wanted to focus on one aspect of Henry V that I really like the most, and that is Shakespeare's use of the chorus here. I don't know, because I'm not a Shakespeare scholar, I don't know how often Shakespeare uses a character or the device of having a chorus to advance the action in his plays, but I really think that the chorus is actually my favorite part of Henry V. It's the chorus who sets the stage for us over and over again. And I think some of Shakespeare's best writing in Henry V is saved for the chorus. So I wanted to focus on that and just kind of give you some examples of things I found in the chorus's lines that I thought were really powerful. So the very first chorus line is in the prologue, where the chorus speaks, "Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like the hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment." You get the impression, or you get the idea right off the bat, that this is a play about action, that this is a play about war. It sets Henry up as what he becomes, not the confused character of the Henry IV plays, but now the fully in his power matured King of England, and a mighty warrior he is. And you kind of get all of that, I think, just in that first set of lines from the chorus. That part of the chorus, that part of the prologue goes on much longer than that. But that, I think, is an example of how well the chorus here sets the stage in Henry V. There are other examples of this as well. Some I just want to give you, again, just a short reading from. So here the chorus is again at the beginning of Act 3. By the time we get to Act 3, Henry is in France and he's laying siege to the city of Harfleur. So I'm going to read just a brief passage from that too, from the chorus. Work your thoughts, and therein see a siege. Behold the ordnance on their carriages, with fatal mouths gaped on girded Harfleur. Suppose the ambassador from the French comes back, tells Harry that the king doth offer him Catherine his daughter, and with her to dowry some petty and unprofitable dukedoms. The offer likes not, and the nimble gunner with linstock now the devilish cannon touches, and down goes all before them. Still be kind, and eke out a performance with your mind. the chorus is constantly used here to kind of to get you to begin imagining the actual scene that's taking place. And I think that the chorus is frequently the most brilliant part of this play. So again, at the beginning of Act 4, the chorus lays out the situation brilliantly, I think, that Henry faces. On the eve of the Battle of Agincourt, Henry is dramatically outnumbered. He is surrounded by a huge French force. His men and he must know how long the odds are against them, and the French must be incredibly confident of their coming victory, and they're punishing Henry for coming to France and the destruction he's wrought. So here's the chorus again, and this is the last one I'll read at the beginning of Act 4. Now entertain conjecture of a time when creeping murmur and the pouring dark fills the wide vessel of the universe. From camp to camp through the foul womb of night, the hum of either army stilly sounds, that the fixed sentinels almost receive the secret whispers of each other's watch. Fire answers fire, and through their paly flames each battle sees the other's umbered face. Steed threatens steed in high and boastful neighs, piercing the night's dull ear, and from the tents the armorers, accomplishing the nights with busy hammers, closing rivets up, give dreadful note of preparation. The country crocks do crow, the clocks do toll, and the third hour of drowsy morning named. Proud of their numbers and secure in soul, the confident and overlusty French do the low-rated English play at dice, and chide the crippled tardy-gated knight, who like a foul and ugly witch doth limp so tediously away. The poor condemned English, like sacrifices by their watchful fires, sit patiently and inly ruminate the morning's danger, and their gesture sad, investing lank lean cheeks and war-worn coats, presenteth them unto the gazing moon so many horrid ghosts. Oh, now, who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band, walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent? Let him cry praise and glory on his head. For forth he goes and visits all his host, bids them good morrow with a modest smile, and calls them brothers, friends, and countrymen. Upon his royal face there is no note how dread an army hath enrounded him, nor doth he dedicate one jot of color under the weary and all-watched night, but freshly looks and overbears attain with cheerful semblance and sweet majesty, that every wretch, pining and pale before, beholding him, plucks comfort from his looks. A largesse universal like the sun, his liberal eye doth give to every one, thawing cold fear, that mean and gentle all behold, as may unworthiness define, a little touch of Harry in the night. And so our scene must to battle fly, where, oh, for pity, we shall much disgrace, with 4 or 5 most vile and ragged foils, right ill-disposed and brawl ridiculous, the name of Agincourt, yet sit and see, minding true things by what their mockeries be. I just love the chorus, and I love the way Shakespeare used it as a device to set the stage, but also to kind of characterize Henry V and what he's like, and historically or even mythologically what he was like. Here the chorus describes Prince Henry going throughout his camp in the night on the eve of this battle, which, surely the soldiers must feel are going to lose, and inspiring his men and talking to them and treating them as like equals, regardless of who they are. This, by the way, is, I think, a necessary thing to understand for Henry's, because it sets up Henry's famous speech when Henry later says, that he who bleeds with me this day shall be my brother. That's something that's already been established by the chorus, and I'll go ahead and close this up and just say one more time, I think this is Shakespeare brilliantly using a theatrical device that, I think at least has its roots in ancient Greece, in a really effective way to kind of move the action of Henry V along. And if Henry V feels like a fast-moving, and I could read Henry V, in a matter of hours, I think, or less, and I'm a slow reader, but he uses the chorus to move the action along, to do some of the work of characterization of, Henry and of the French and of, Henry's men, and to set the scene. I think it's just ingenious, and I think that's what makes this feel like such a fast-moving play, and it so effectively captures, I think, the military aspect of what this play is really focused on, and allowing us to move ourselves quickly from one place to the other without Shakespeare having to write and have acted out what would have been incredibly long scenes describing, the transition and what had happened. I think the use of chorus here is just makes the play, and it's my favorite aspect of Henry V. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed Henry V, and I'm looking forward to The Tempest next week in the end of Shaketube. Thank you for watching.